started? Wait, I think. Okay, now. Oscar, did you get stage fright?
You there?
Yeah. Where did you go?
Dude. No way. As soon as I started speaking, it did it again.
Okay, go.
Yo, what's up? My name's Oscar Sanchez. You can find me on my Instagram handle is osanchez408. Facebook, you could also find me. It's SD Motorsports Ocotillo. I'm in the power sports industry. We own a family-owned business. We rent out quads, dirt bikes, and side-by-sides out in Ocotillo Wells, Borrego Springs. So if y'all are ever in the area and you guys want to ride, we teach everybody how to ride. So don't be afraid. Just come on down. Yeah.
So you're saying it doesn't matter what level you are, if you're a beginner or if you're an experienced rider, you guys work with all different ages and all different levels?
That's right. I mean, we teach kids that have never ridden before, and we teach senior citizens that have never ridden before. We teach all ages, everybody. Anybody can ride a motorcycle as long as you want to.
Okay, I support that. Yeah, my first time riding, I believe, was out in Ocotillo Wells, and I like the open land and less restrictions when you first start riding, because you're really just learning how to control the bike and control your movement and learning you really learn how to use the bike and work with the bike.
Yeah, you know what? We get people from all over the world. Just this weekend, we actually had a couple clients that came down from Washington just to ride. You know what I mean? Up there, they're up there dodging trees and stuff like that, and riding through the trails and stuff like that. And I mean, there's nothing like Baja California. You're not going to find anything like it. I mean, maybe Vegas, but you're not going to find anything like you would find out in Ocotillo or in Glamis with big old jumps and stuff like that, where you can actually get dirty, have fun. You know what I mean? And obviously, you're going to break stuff, And yeah, that's the beauty of the sport. You break it, you build it just to break it,
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the terrain of Ocotillo Wells, and likewise as Glamis with the dunes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's a lot nicer to fall in Glamis than it is in Ocotillo Wells, let me tell you. Out here in Ocotillo Wells, you're sitting there picking out rocks out of your skin for a little bit, and in Glamis, you fall in Glamis and it's like falling on a cloud. It still hurts. You might break something still, but there's nothing like Baja California.
One of my first times riding, I was working a turn and I might have miscalculated the turn, but I slid right into a bush. The bush had stabbed me in the neck, and I had a piece of a branch in my neck for a while before my body pushed it out. It was wild.
Nice.
Nevertheless, I love riding. I enjoy riding. I'm not really good at track. I don't really care for trail, although I will ride just because I get the adrenaline to get on a bike and ride. But my absolute favorite is that open desert freedom.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's the view spots are beautiful out there too. You can go on top of Devil's Slide and see the whole entire desert. You can go on top of Mount Superstition on the other side, see the whole entire desert. You go on top of Shell Reef, same thing. You just see everything. I mean, it's beautiful. We love it.
Yeah, so you mentioned this was like a family business. Do you know how your family business started?
We actually started in Pacific Beach with 4 jet skis about 15 years ago, right off of Claremont. It was a little tiny shack. Our jet skis were fenced in. You know what I mean? We started out with 4 jet skis. What was it? It was the Yamaha's XL 700s. I don't know if you remember those. They were the 2-strokes, and we started out with 4 of those. And we just kept expanding. Eventually, we got a couple stand-up skis. We had them in our showroom, and some people just come in and they see that in the showroom and they're like, dude, I want to rent that. So we rent that out. So we were doing a little bit of stand-up skis and a little bit of the XL 700s, the Wave Ventures and stuff like that too. Eventually, we just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And sure enough, the next location we moved over off of Grand and Ingram. And again, it's San Diego Jet Ski Rentals. We were one of the largest companies out there. You would pull up to our location, right? You would have to tow the ski to the water, right? Because we weren't directly on the water. But we were $75 an hour, 150 for 4 hours, or 250 for the day. Everything had a $500 damage deposit on it, and everything came with a full tank of gas, right? So you would just bring it back full. And if you didn't have a truck to tow the jet ski to the water, we provided you with a truck, but you would just have to bring the truck and the trailer back on your own time. So your time would start as soon as you leave the shop, right? And that's how we started out, right? And then we ended up moving up we ended up getting a couple of BX 110s, the 2005 and 2004 models. They're red and blue and white, blue and red. And we eventually ended up with 12 of them, then moved up to, 20 of them. And then right now, I think we currently have over 40 units, over 40 or 50 units.
Wow.
And then, yeah. And then, you know what? In the wintertime, it started getting a little boring, and we love to do the desert stuff regardless. You know what I mean? So we started doing the desert stuff. We got a couple of TRX 250s and a couple of LTZ 400s and a couple of dirt bikes. I believe the CRF 230s, 150s, CRF 50s for the kids, you know what I mean? So, and basically we had something to do in the wintertime and in the summertime. So the desert season is from October 31st, which is Halloween. Anytime after Easter, it starts getting hot. I mean, we're talking 110, somewhere around there. And the only really fun time to go out around the summertime is if you're doing like a morning trip or something and bounce by the afternoon, you know what I mean? So that way it wasn't too hot. So we were kind of just bouncing back and forth doing that. And you know what? It's a lot of legwork, but hey, we love it. We love it. Basically, my dad and his business partner, they came up with the name, just because I guess we were in San Diego. I started out like around 7 years old. That's when I really started making money. You know what I mean? They started paying me. I believe I started at $20 a day. You know what I mean? And this was just filling up the skis when they come back. Later on, my dad started teaching me how to do spark plugs. And I've always done wrenching because I started riding dirt bikes at 5. And he was like, all right, well, if you want your own dirt bike, you're going to learn how to work on this thing. You're not just going to friggin', you want a bike? Fine. Here you go. You're going to learn how to work on this thing. And, so I started wrenching then. And then that's when they kind of, I wanted to stick around. I loved it, so I just started putting a wrench on the skis and stuff like that. And it just went from there. It just kept going from there. It just got better and better.
So what is your current position right now and what you do for the company?
I mean, it's basically the same thing, except I've advanced. Like, I'm when it comes to rebuilding a 250 motor or something like that, I'm right there holding the motor. I don't maybe know how to rebuild it, but my dad, that guy, he can work his tool like a mechanic. Right, that guy, he's been doing it since the business started, and he's been mechanically inclined since before. He used to build lowriders and do all that stuff. So he's been a mechanic his whole life. But that's when it's really when he started like rebuilding the motors, the 250 motors, the jet ski motors, all that stuff, doing all that kind of stuff is when I started like digging in his toolbox. And I remember, there'd be times where he'd be like, hey, I'd get yelled at because I didn't put his snap-on tools away. And, I didn't understand the value of the tools. Like, you know what I mean? I just thought you grabbed a screwdriver and friggin' took the bolt off. But no, he taught me more than how to just work on them. Like, you know what I mean? He's teaching me the value of having tools. Let me just tell you, there ain't nothing like Daddy's toolbox. There's nothing like Daddy's toolbox.
Or the knowledge that he could provide to be able to use the tools.
That's what really counts. The knowledge.
So sure. I know we kind of talked prior, but what an opportunity for you to be able to go under your dad's wing and pick up the trade and be submerged in the industry with all the knowledge, with creating a successful business and how to run the business and the mechanics of what it takes to keep the shop up and running.
Yeah, that was just the mechanics side. Now, Brian, too, his business partner, Brian Booth, he taught it. There's a lot of discipline in there, too, and talking to the customers and like selling the, like, it's like selling the product, just like anything, selling the product, checking the skis properly when we come back, making sure we see every scratch and gouge in the fiberglass. We make sure we mark it with silver marker. Oh man, you don't know how many times I used to hear from him because a ski would come back with a little bit of damage, and he would say, "Was that there before?" And we'd tell him, I just, like, as a kid, I don't know. Oh man, that was our favorite word to use. I don't know. And then I'm telling you, there's like discipline, it comes with it. So, what I mean? There's a lot there's a lot to this business, what I mean? And you know what? There's just something about it that I hang on to. I cling to it, and I won't let it go. I absolutely love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even between your dad and his business partner, it really sounds like they've been able to mentor you throughout, being able to be a part of the business. And that's really cool to have two really strong mentors that support you in your journey.
Oh man, they've more than supported me, honestly. Yeah, they've more than supported me. I've dove off the deep end also, and they're still there. There's still there was a lot to it, man. There's a lot of building and a lot of learning curves and a lot of, what I mean? Because as a teenager and stuff like that, you go through things, and you're experiencing things, and you start getting what's that? You start getting the craving for the money, and you know what I mean, along with like social media and stuff that you see and that you follow and stuff like that, and things and people that you want to be like, whether it be like a rapper or a celebrity or something, you know what I mean? And it makes you crave more, when in reality, you know what I mean? There's things to be happy about, like that you do have, like, you know what I mean? It all comes down to, like, how you value things, and it took a long time to understand that. And, I'm glad that they've been here for me through this whole entire journey. And you know what I mean? They haven't left my side yet.
Yeah, and that's the thing about social media is being very cautious with how your algorithm kind of shifts into your liking, and who you look up to can be very important. And that's why I kind of create that platform of Kanaka of all trades to be a community of supportive people to come together and have a place where they feel safe and to be able to express their dreams without the world's criticism, or, having that community that they could fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
And likewise, being able to have a small business like your dad's, where, you guys are welcoming all levels of ages and all levels of experience to just come out and have a good time. And I think that's been really shown just based off of the 15 minutes that we've been talking of, you know, you know, having through, your life experiences, that they've been able to be that support system for you. And so, yeah, I really commend, those two men in your life that have been able to be alongside you in your journey.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I am very thankful for them, man. Very thankful. It's made me who I am today, and then, what I mean, it's going to create who I am in the future.
Yeah, so I think a lot of us have been following your social media. I've been watching a lot of stuff that you've been posting, and it's really cool. Can you speak about some of the events that you went to recently?
So, I recently went to my first King of the Hammers, and let me just tell you, okay, we were not prepared at all. Absolutely not prepared. All right,
I love how the hype is up, and then you're like, "Well, we weren't prepared," and that is so real. That is so real.
It was so real, it was this real. Okay. It took my dad. He was like, hey, all right, do you think you and Omar, which is my brother, he's also the backbone of the company, also my brother Omar, me and Omar, I mean, when we're side by side, I feel like we're unstoppable. That guy Omar, he can freaking turn a wrench like you would not believe. He is the absolute baddest person I know when it comes to rattle canning. That guy is a damn pro. You know what I'm saying? So it took him. My dad's like, hey, I'm going to Mexico. He's got a wife out there, so he's going out there for vacation. can you guys run the business? It's going to be King of the Hammers, so it's not going to be busy down there. It's going to be busy in Johnson Valley. You know what I mean? So you guys think you can handle it? And we're like, yeah, sure thing. We got this, you know? So he's like, all right, cool. Long story short, he takes off. You know, we're over there running the business, and King of the Hammers was going on, right? And King of the Hammers, I believe it's a 2-week event down in Johnson Valley in Hammertown. You know, where they have vendors, King Off-Road Shocks. I'm talking about every single vendor you could think of, VP Racing Gas, all the Can-Am, Polaris, everybody you can think of down there in the industry, even Stiffy Flags, Sand Styles, the Pyrrol, everybody was down there. So, you know what I mean? Long story short, I was telling Omar, I'm like, dude, I really want to go to King of the Hammers. And I told my buddy Efron that was just sitting there, and I was like, hey, dude, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, nothing. I was like, dude, I'm not doing anything either because my dad's not here. I was like, let's go take a drive down to King of the Hammers. Like, dude, let's go see what the hell it's all about. And we were like, all right, screw it, let's do it. And Omar overheard me and him talking about it, and you know, there was something that stuck with me every time I got hyped up and excited that we were going, I'd be like, King of the Hammer, baby, yeah. And Omar was like, King of the Hammers, are you guys really going? And I was like, heck yeah, dude, me and Efron are gonna drive down there. And Omar's like, you know what? Hold on, give me a second. He started calling his father-in-law and stuff like that, and trying to figure out, you know, hey, what's up? Do you guys want to go? And he was like, oh, dude, maybe we might pull out the trailer, we might pull out the razor, we might take it all down there. And he was just like, you know what I mean? Something came up to where he couldn't go. And he had advised us. He goes, dude, if you guys are gonna go, you guys should just limp it. You know, go get some tents from Walmart. You know what I mean? Get some food at least for the 2 days. You know, whatever else you guys need, your drinks and all that stuff like that, and just go check it out, dude, because you guys aren't gonna know until you go. You know what I mean? You got to get there first. So sure enough, Sunday night comes around, we start packing up the car, throw everything in there, and we the most important part that we didn't forget, and I kept telling Omar, I'm like, dude, I think we got way too much firewood. He's like, dude, you can never have too much firewood. So he threw like 2 wheelbarrows in the truck, right? Best thing ever. We drove down to Hammertown, got down there in the nighttime, and you could just see the lights. I'm telling you, if you were to see it, you see the lights. You could see Chocolate Thunder, the mountain. Oh, that thing was loaded. There were so many people. You could see the TV from way out back. They had a big old screen TV and everything. I mean, you could see it all. And I was like, I was just awed. I was amazed. I was like, dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, right? And and Hammertown is maybe about 2 hours away from Ocotillo Wells, right? So it's not too far. Mm-hmm. It's about the same distance from home to Ocotillo Wells. So making that 2-hour drive was nothing. We had talked to our buddy right next door, but the tickets to get in are at least $100. You could find other ways around to get in, but you might not be able to go through Hammertown. You know, and when we got there, we brought the money, you know, obviously to go into, you know, to do all this stuff. And my little brother was trying to find the other way. I'm like, dude, let's just do it. Let's just get the tickets. I know it's $100 a person, but let's get the tickets. It's a once in a lifetime thing. Let's try it out. And you know what? That was the best thing we ever did. The best thing we ever did. We paid $100 each. Well, I'm pretty sure it was like 6 or 7 of us, right? Got the wristbands, got the maps. And we literally, since we were just we went in my sister's car, right? A little Toyota Camry, no truck, no nothing, just a little Toyota Camry with the whole back full, I mean, of stuff like grill, friggin' tents, everything you could think of, you know what I mean, to survive those 2 nights. And believe it or not, it was cold. First thing we did, set up a campfire, and we could just walk straight into Hammertown and go check out all the vendors. And it wasn't just the vendors; they had a screen in the inside, along with the people talking on the mic. What is it? I forgot their names. I forgot what, you know. But they had the people talking on the mics, like, you know, talking about the race the whole entire time. And then they had a big old screen TV right there where they had the drones following them up the mountain and you know, doing that whole entire thing. And then they had a stadium that you could stand on to watch all the racers take off through the finish line. And let me just tell you, that was the greatest experience ever. I mean, we were taking pictures with every single off-road vehicle that they had there in Hammertown. And I mean, I'm telling you, I was all over it. I was like, people were giving us T-shirts. You could go in there and give them your email and sign up for this, and they give you some glasses. I mean, we came out loaded. And
Hell yeah.
Okay, I went to the King of the Hammers, and it was awesome. It was the greatest experience ever. Yeah, I mean, it was the coolest thing ever. I mean, in the daytime they had all the racing, you know what I mean, and after the racing, they had, they over at Chocolate Thunder, which is a like a mountain, but everybody's rock crawling and stuff and doing their own stuff, you know what I mean? But they also had a jumbo screen there with drones following them, and it's insane. There's so much stuff going on. I mean, people fighting, people getting drunk. I mean, it was all there. Everything you could think of, it was there.
Yeah, that sounds like
it was the coolest
experience.
It was the greatest thing ever, and that was my first time ever going to that. So it was cool. It was cool. It was the best experience, honestly. And as far as like events, that was pretty much the only event. That was pretty much the only event, you know what I mean? And and we recently had TDS, Tierra del Sol, down there in Salton Sea, where the 4x4 guy, the Jeep guys, are doing their rock crawling stuff. It's pretty cool. You know, there's a good amount of people down there at Truck Haven, the 4x4 course. And that was pretty cool too. Over at Sand Styles, they were giving away an electric bike. You know, they were doing a raffle, an electric, I'm not sure what it was. It was some kind of electric dirt bike or something like that. I didn't really get into it or nothing like that, but there was a lot of people there. There was a lot of people there. It was quite the experience also.
Yeah, I mean, I remember during the time you were at Kings of the Hammers, we were kind of conversing a little bit. I was at AIM Expo. But yeah, I love the footage that you sent over. I'm going to have to put that in your little intro, so whenever we collaborate on a post, that people can see the experience that you had. I mean, you gave great visual demonstrations of like how it all looked, and I'm just picturing it in my head. Like, it sounds like you guys had a great time out there.
Oh, the best.
With that, I mean, what plans do you guys have for the future of your next King of Hammers? Like, how do you think you guys could prepare more or next year for like a better turn of events?
This time we're doing it right. We're bringing out the Can-Am. We're bringing out the Beast. We're bringing out, stuff to go hang out and cruise around, and we're going the whole 9 yards. And this year we didn't have my dad there, and I've been telling my dad, "Hey, Dad, we're going this year. This year, the next King of the Hammer, we're going." Like, you know what I mean? And so we've kind of have it in mind, we only get basically, the weekends is when we're busy. So it's the weekdays that we'd be going down there. And we got buddies and stuff like that, and people that can get us wristbands, people that can get us in. Just, we're a part of the community, and they love us. I mean, they love it. They absolutely love us down there. If you go on Google, if you look up San Diego Motorsport Rentals and all that stuff, and you look at our reviews, we got like 5 stars. But if you look at our reviews, that'll tell it all. I mean, the people love us out there. We help everybody out, they love us. There's no better way to put it. They love us. And when it comes to repairs and stuff like that, people come to us, and we do it for dirt cheap. Everybody talks about the desert price is this, and the desert price is that, and the desert price is this. But with us, if you need help and you're out there to have a good time, and we see that, we're going to help you out. We got spare tires there. We got quad tires. We got dirt bike tires, inner tubes. I think to change out an inner tube, it's $25 for the inner tube and then $30 for the installation. You know what I mean? Just this week, somebody came in one of their pre-runners, and they're like, "Dude, the whole front end was dropped," you know what I mean, to the floor, and he's limping it, and he's like, "Dude, anybody that's got a welder?" And he's like, "I need you to weld the block right here I'll cut my bump stop off and weld a metal square tubing right there, and weld the arm, weld it to the arm and weld it up here on the frame." And I'm like, "Dude, hold on." And I jacked the thing up, took out the torsion bar and fixed the whole torsion bar for him and got him up and going. I actually mocked it up. So he, you know what I mean? I gusseted everything, you know what I mean? And made it work perfect. So, and I'm pretty sure right now he's still going, you know what I mean? Cause his buddy came to the shop and he's like, hey man, hey, I just wanted to let you know, dude, my buddy made it home. He made it all the way home. I'm like, oh dude, he could probably make it more than home. He could probably continue mashing. Cause that's always our goal, to keep people going. You know what I mean? I mean, people will have their quads sitting in their garage, you know, all for a couple weeks or a couple months, and all it takes is it's that California gas to get a little bit of gunk inside the freaking carburetor, and now you got a clogged jet. So we pull those carburetors apart like nothing, and you know what I mean. We're literally, sometimes we'll tell people, hey, just give us whatever, you know what I mean. Like, we're not worried about it, just as long as everybody's having fun, and it keeps people coming back. Mm-hmm. Whether it's to buy a drink, a bag of chips, whatever it is. We sell firewood right there, right in front of our location too. It's $40 a wheel, but people come to us all the time, and you know, they love us out there. And you know what? That just makes us love it even more. You know, the fact that people stop by just to say what's up. Hey, how you guys doing? You know, or just to go watch us work in the back. I mean, you know, we welcome everybody and anybody.
Hell yeah. I love the community that you support. You know, stay tuned for the full schedule, tickets, competitor registration, and you know, I know the King of Hammers was January 23rd to February 8th, 2025. You know, stay posted for that next upcoming event, and go check out San Diego Motorsport Rentals the next time you're in Ocotillo. It sounds like they're really supportive of their community and the people who ride, and really just bringing back the passion of just having a good time. You know, they're looking out for you, and they just want to take care of you. So hell yeah.
Yeah, we're there. Hey, we are there. Even if you want to just come by just to say hello, just come on by, just say what's up. You know what I mean? We love meeting new people. We love new clients. We love it all. We're there. We're there to enjoy ourselves and to, you know, work, and we're a family. So, you know what I mean? We have a good time in the back. We sit there and talk crap back and forth to each other. We keep each other going. I mean, it's nothing but a great time. Nothing but the best.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about what you see for yourself and how this company helped you grow as an individual.
Okay. So around the time when I was like 19 or 20, you know, I mean, of course, I went through what every 19 and 20-year-old went through. You know what I mean? I want the money and I want it fast. You know what I mean? And I don't want to work for it too hard. You know what I mean? Which was, you know, I mean, completely the opposite. You know, it's not what it is. You know, it should be, you work hard for your money. You know what I mean? You work hard, you play hard, right? So it all started. I'd show up, and of course, I'm giving safety briefs to our customers, you know, and then Brian and my dad were like, you know what I mean? They say, what the heck is wrong with this guy, dude? He's not performing the same, you know what I mean? So I did have my downfalls, and I did, you know what I mean? I went down for a little bit. I did disappear for a couple of years, you know what I mean? But it has helped me grow, because the company has helped me grow, because it helped me straighten my life out. It brought me back to my childhood. I mean, you know what I mean? We when we were little, making $20 a day, or, you know, whatever it was, it would basically be, we would go ask Brian, hey Brian, what can we do? You know what I mean? Move all the rocks out of the parking lot. and we would say, what? Dude, there's so many rocks out here. What do you mean? How many? Dude, you're never going to be done. He's like, well, you better get started. So we would be sitting there, right, collecting rocks, and by the, you know what I mean, and we would be done, and we would think we'd be done within the hour. Hey, we're done. Brian, come back out. What are you talking about? I still see rocks. There's one right there, one right there, one right there. Just throw them in the planters, throw them to the side, you know, so people aren't running them over. Oh, we would get so frustrated. We would get so frustrated. It was 6 of us, right? And it was 6 of us. My dad has a total of 9 kids, so he knows a thing or two about raising kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether it be picking up the trash, taking out the trash, all that stuff. So, you know, all 5 of us, or all 4 of us, were out there, and, you know, we're just picking up rocks, and, you know, trying to do whatever we can. So just so that way we can go hop on the dirt bike for a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Well, gas isn't cheap. You better get started. Oh man. So we're out there picking up rocks and doing this and doing that. Hey dad, I got a flat tire on my dirt bike. Well, pull the tire off and I'll show you how to change the inner tube. So like, you know what I mean? It's definitely helped us grow. It has helped us become who we are and like, you know, make us work for our stuff. And, you know, it's the greatest. I mean, I'm so thankful for it. I couldn't be more thankful for both of them, you know. The family is just, you know, and you know, family will never leave your side. You know, that's one thing that's one thing that I've definitely learned. You know, it's you know, my family's the greatest. I love them. And yeah, like I said, I was like 19, you know, and I started messing up, wanted to have a girlfriend, and you know what I mean. So I disappeared for a little bit, you know, ended up having a kid, you know what I mean, and ended up having a beautiful baby boy. His name is Anthony, and you know, we got into, you know, had our ups and downs and stuff like that. I actually was working for this company called Hobie Cat, and it's actually in Oceanside. And I was making money. I mean, I had vehicles. I had a truck. I had a boat at 19 years old. I mean, I had it all. I had everything I could ever ask for, you know, and it was crazy. It was, you know, like everything, you know, I found something that I wasn't supposed to find. And, you know, it was freaking, I got hooked, you know, the second I tried it. All it took was, you know, going to lunch with a buddy, and he was like, yeah, I've been partying all weekend. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Just whatever, like, you know, and he's like, he's like, oh, this stuff is awesome. You got to try this. I'm like, nah, dude. I'm not touching that shit. I know myself, dude. I got an addictive personality. The second I try that shit, dude, I'm gonna be addicted. I'm gonna do exactly what you did right now. And he's like, no, you won't. Just try it once. Dude. That's all you gotta do. I'm like, nah, you're stupid, dude. I'm not trying that, dude. And he starts like, he goes, here, this one's for you. And you know what? What did I do? I tried it.
Oh, man, it gets the best of us.
This stuff is awesome. It's going to make you work. You're going to be able to work forever, dude. You're going to have so much fun. And guess what? I had the greatest time. I mean, I had to sweep a whole warehouse. I swept the warehouse in freaking half an hour. I was done before I should have even been done. Like, you know, I was zooming. I was having so much fun. It was the greatest time ever, right? And you know what? The problem with drugs and stuff like that is you don't want the party to ever end. You know what I mean? Just like anything good, too much, you know, I mean, you take advantage of things, and you know what I mean? It just goes downhill. It just goes down. And that's exactly what happened. I just couldn't stop partying. And you know what I mean? I was trying to think of all the good benefits to it. Oh my God, I can work overtime. I'm not tired. Oh, I wake up in the morning. It's better than coffee. Wow. Like, you know what I mean? And over time, it ate me up. And you know what? I stopped eating. I was getting real skinny. You know what I mean? Starting to lose weight. I was looking good, you know, I thought. And I'm like, all right, this is awesome, you know. But sure enough, you know, like I started hiding it from my significant other. And, you know, she was like, you know, what the heck is going on with this guy? Like, you know, there's something, he's not sleeping at night. Like, you know what I mean? And then the problems started, you know. And of course, we had the baby, you know what I mean? And it was just an unhealthy environment that I put myself in, you know what I mean? And I mean, it was all bad. So, you know, for that whole entire time that I was messing up, you know, they only ended up giving me 3 years in total, you know, 3-year lid, but I got 2 strikes, you know what I mean? So I'm very like, you know what I mean? Like right now I'm walking on thin ice, but I got my head on straight now. Like, you know what I mean? Clean and sober. You know, taking classes and all that stuff and everything, doing what I got to do to, you know, to get back to see my son and stuff like that, classes and all that stuff. And you know what? My biggest supporter is my father, you know, him having 9 kids and stuff like that. And, you know, I mean, he's showing me the right steps, you know, I mean, even teaching me how to, because he's still got little ones down there in Mexico also. And, you know, teaching me how to be a good dad and like, you know what I mean? What it takes to like, you know what I mean? And these parenting classes and, you know, the other, the domestic violence classes, because we got into an altercation, of course. Everybody goes through some things, you know what I mean? And honestly, I would have never taken these classes on my own if you know what I mean, if this wouldn't have ever happened. And these classes, I can honestly say, has made me a way better person. And you know what, I can honestly say that I love myself because I'm like, ready and educated, and like, I'm still learning and stuff like that. I'm about 14 weeks in on my classes, and the things that I've learned from this classes is amazing. And and it was crazy because what made me stop doing drugs was the fact that one day I was walking around in Oceanside, and my pops is like, "Hey, dude, just come hang out with me in the desert, dude." I was like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah." He's like, "Dude, you don't even have to work, dude. Just come hang out with me. Come hang out with me." And it had been a couple years since I'd gone. Right, it'd been a couple years since I've been out there and stuff like that. And for a while, me and my dad were bumping heads because I was basically like hanging around the house, and I'm high at my mom's house, right? And I'm high, and my little brother and my sister, and they were all like, "Dude, there's something wrong with Oscar. We don't like it." Like, you know what I mean? They don't like it, and it was sad. I was putting them through a lot, including my mother. Man, I put her through a lot. I put it through so much. It's insane. And my dad was like, "Dude, just come hang out with me." So I was like, all right. And there was this part of me that was like, it was weird. It was weird because I couldn't let go. It was just hard. I just couldn't. And sure enough, he got me out there, right? We got out there, and I'm just sitting there riding around, right? And the 450 is about to go out, and I hop on the 450 and take off and go for a ride. And you know what I mean? I used to get in trouble for things like this, and my dad was just very patient with me. He didn't, he just let me do my thing. He just let me be who I am, and it was crazy because that takes a lot. But I am his son, so like I get it, but also like oh man, it's crazy. But I was riding around the property, and I was looking at everything we got, and I'm like, dude, there's so much potential here. I'm looking at all the quads that I used to ride. You know what I mean? I'm looking at one quad that I blew up when I was a kid. It's still sitting there. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, hey, Dad, what's up with the TRX 450R, dude? Like the 450 that I used to ride. He's like, oh, it's got a blown up motor. You blew it up. And I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, Dad, what can I do? Like, I really want that thing. Like I got attached to that bike. It's got the whole long travel front end. And I used to jump that thing over the highway in front of our shop all the time. So I'm like, Dad, what can I do? I really want that quad. Like, I'll build it. I'll do all that stuff. He goes, dude, you really want that quad? Like, he didn't take me serious at first. And then finally I kept bugging him about it. He goes, you really, really want that quad? I'm like, yeah. He goes, dude, I'll give you the freaking quad. He goes, but you got to promise me one thing, dude. He goes, you got to freaking sober up. You got to stay sober. And I was like, after looking around and everything and seeing all the potential, I was like, hey, Dad, you know what, Dad? I will stop doing drugs for the business and for that quad. I will stay sober. You know what I mean? And at that moment, at that time, I knew. I was like, okay, something snapped, something clicked in my head. And I was like, you know what? It's time. It had been about 4 or 5 years of me just using nonstop, just basically throwing away my life, throwing away all the potential that I had. And I was just, and you know what, at that moment in that time, I'm a week there, right? He left me out there in the desert. He goes, dude, out here, you're not going to be able to find nothing. Well, just like everything, if you go look for it, you will find it. But at that point, I really wanted to change because I really wanted the quad and I really wanted to do the business. Like, I wanted to be there. And so I was looking for change, you know what I mean? And, Finally, like it had been like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I'm really asking my dad, I really love this. Like, Dad, I'm really liking it. And of course he doesn't take me. He's not really taking me serious. He's like, yeah, you know what I mean? You'll fall back to your ways. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, no, Dad, you don't understand. I really I love this, dude. Like, it brought me back to my childhood being here. Like, this is what I want to do. And, sure enough, he goes, you really want me to trust you? I was like, yeah, I mean, of course I do. Like, he goes, you know what? I'm leaving for Mexico for the week on this day. You don't even have to open up all week. I'm going to leave you the ice key and the key to the store. He goes, you can open up the store, sell ice and sell firewood just Friday. I'll be back on Saturday. I'm like, All right, that sounds good. So I was really excited, you know what I mean? I was like, finally, like, you know, like, here we go. Like, you know, I'm starting to get my foot back in the door. Like, and sure enough, I'm sitting in the back. I'm in the back, you know, pumping some iron, doing some push-ups and all that stuff, you know, working out. And next thing you know, Tony from next door, Tony Mata, the off-road guy, the Baja guy, he comes around the corner. He goes, Oscar, somebody's looking for you. And I come around the corner. I'm all excited. Yes, our first customer. I come around the corner. Boom. Oh, it's a sheriff, right? And he goes, "Are
Oh,
you Oscar
hell.
Sanchez?" Yeah. Are you Oscar Sanchez? I'm like, "Yep." He goes, "Do me a favor. Put your hands behind your back." And I'm like, "Oh shit."
Oh,
I
no.
yeah. I put my hands behind my back and he arrests me. He goes, "You know, you know what I'm arresting you for?" I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "You have a warrant out for your arrest." He goes, "Did you know that?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." Yeah. So I was like, dude, I was like, my dad he just gave me the trust back to freaking run the shop, to run the store. I was like, can I at least lock everything up? He goes, no, I'm not gonna let you lock anything up. You can run at any point in time. He goes, but can that guy lock everything up? And he was pointing at Tony, and I go, Tony. I was like, Tony, dude, I think I'm going in. They give you 10 days. They incarcerate you for 10 days. And then they release you so that way you can go back and do your own stuff. And sure enough, I went in. I thought it was only going to be 10 days, right? So I'm sitting there in jail. I'm like, yeah, I'll be out of here soon. And boom, I went to court. Sure enough, they're like, hey, so this is the second time, you know, this time you're going to serve all your term, your whole term. And I was like,
Dang.
okay, 65 days, you know, it's not bad. So I'm sitting there doing my time, you know, sobering up, doing all that stuff. And I had so much time to think and so much time. And the whole entire time I was in there, I was just like, you know what? I just can't wait to get back to the business. Just can't wait to get back to work. And I'm talking to my dad, and yeah, he was a little disappointed, but he's like, hey, everything's good, dude. I got the money bag. I got everything we needed. You know what I mean? Everything's good. Just sit in there, do your time, chill. Like, you know what I mean? And do what you got to do. So I'm in there working out, you know, doing what I got to do to pass up time, you know, playing cards, playing chess, you know, talking to all the older people, you know, learning everything. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Taking my time to get closer to God and all that stuff, doing Bible group every single night, doing everything I can to, you know, to pass up time. And when I got out, things just changed. You know, I went straight back. My mom picked me up. I was like, hey, mom, I'm getting out this day, December 16th. And she's like, okay, well, what's up? Like, you know, as we were getting closer to the time, she's like, what do you want to do? Your Uncle Aaron is having a Christmas party on this day. I was like, mom, honestly, I just want to get straight back out to the desert. Just can you take me from here straight to the desert? And she's like, that's really what you want to do? I'm like, mom, I've been, you know, I was dying inside there, wanting to go to work, wanting to be out in the desert, wanting to, you know, and you know, and sure enough, I went out there and I hit it even harder. I went back to work and freaking, I really started trying to, like, you know, getting my hands dirty and doing everything I can, you know, to get back on track, to gain my dad's trust back. And, you know, right now everything's peachy keen. Everything is good, you know, except we're coming close to the end of the season, you know, but you know, it's there, and I'm there. My mind's all cleared. I'm sobered up, and, you know, I'm doing way better, 100% better. And, you know, that's basically how it went down, you know, and basically what helped me sober up and what helped me get my life back on track was my dad in the business. I wouldn't, you know, there's nothing I'll change. I wouldn't change it for nothing, you know, for anything. I love it the way it is now.
Hell yeah. I am so proud of you that you have come full circle and are able to share this story with us because, you know, a lot of times there's a lot of us that have gone through things and it's almost like a hurdle, and it's like, you know, just jumping over that hurdle could be hard enough, but here you are running the marathon, completing it, and able to look back at the whole picture and say, hey, you know, I've come this far, I've made my mistakes, but I'm just trying to improve myself. I'm just trying to get better. I'm just trying to be the best person I could be, dad I could be, son I could be, you know? So, I mean, I, I'm really proud of you.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Seriously. I mean, Ah, man, I couldn't, I can breathe again. I could take that deep breath and be thankful for what I got. And, back then I was, when I was a little bit younger, I was sitting there, trying to strive for more, trying to do this and trying to do that to make a quick buck. But in reality, everything I've ever wanted and everything I ever needed was right in front of me the whole entire time. It took me to, it took for me to fall on my behind, you know what I mean, to see it though. And you know what? Sometimes that's what we need. Sometimes that's what it takes to freaking, to get your head out of your behind. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I definitely get it. And the industry, and whether you're, a business or an enthusiast or somebody that just rides, that's really what that whole community is about, having a good time and having our coming from our different, ethnicities or cultures and coming together as a family. The writing community is one of the most supportive communities and one of the most understanding communities that I have been involved in. And it's just been a great experience. And even hearing your story and how long you've come and how far you've come, like, it's truly inspirational. I think you're really going to impact a lot of lives.
Heck yeah. I mean, shoot, it's just, there's a lot of people out there that just maybe they need to hop on a dirt bike, you drive around your city, whether you be in San Diego or Oceanside or anything like that, and you see people completely bent over to this new drug, amphetamine, and completely, lost, or not amphetamine. What is that?
Fentanyl.
That's fentanyl. And people are completely bent over, friggin' slumped on the side. People are dying, right? Kids are finding this stuff, like, you know what I mean? And it's just maybe they just need a dirt bike. It's sad to say,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But you really gotta want it. You really gotta want it. You really have to.
Yeah.
You really
And
have.
the other thing I'd like to say is that the power sport industry, like I mean, I would just say that like power sports alone is high adrenaline. So using that high adrenaline type of activity is a great coping mechanism to paraphernalia or addictions that you may have or anything of that sort.
For sure. I agree 100%.
But yeah, I mean, so what does the future look like? I mean, with all that being said, like, how do you plan on giving back to the community when it comes to, if you had given the opportunity to mentor somebody that went through the same things you were going through, like, how do you think it looks like in your mind to be able to give back to that, people with the same problems?
To anybody that I'd say that is, like, you know what I mean, stuck using, and, like, that want out, because like I said, you really got to want out. If you don't want out, like, you're just going to continue to find fun in it. But there's resources, so many resources out there that will help you, whether it be AA meetings, McAllister, all that stuff. It's the community clinic. There's so many resources. And you know what? I would say just go through with the resources and learn about, you know what I mean, these, go to these drug classes and stuff like that, because they do teach you. They don't just tell you, hey, we need to stop using and let's talk about your experience and that experience and this one. And no, there's really ways on how to stop using drugs. There's a whole, like, you know what I mean? But sometimes you just really
Hmm.
need, you know what I mean? You just really need, like, maybe somebody, to I don't know, like, pull you
To
out of that
believe in
funk.
you.
Yeah, to believe in you mainly too. I mean, like, it's a really tough battle. And so many people are going through it. And if it was that easy to pull everybody out of that funk, I'm pretty sure we would have already done it. Humans have been on this earth for so many, so long. And, I mean, you would think when the elders tell you something, you know what I mean? Most people just blow it off. But I like to listen to everything. You know what I mean? Take everything as a grain of salt. Take what you can from them. But the elders, man, the older people, they know what the heck is going on. They know what they're talking about only because they've seen it. They've been through it. You know what I mean? And especially when it comes to like welding or something like that. Like, the other day somebody brought in their little rig, you know what I mean? And he goes, "Hey, dude, the Heim came undone on one of my arms." He goes, "Can you weld it?" And I was just gonna weld the stud into the tubing. You know what I mean? Just put a nice weld on it. He goes, "Dude, what you should do? You could do that, but also do a rosebud weld, right?" And I'm sitting there listening to him. I'm like, "What's a rosebud weld?" He goes, "Just drill a hole on one side and drill a hole on the other side of the tubing." He goes, "Put a nice freaking bead of weld in it, fill it in. On the other side, same thing, fill it in." And you know what? This guy, he like, I wasn't expecting anything. You know what I mean? I was just like, let me help this guy out. I got a welder. You know what I mean? I got the welder, so let me help this guy out. And he was so satisfied with the work that I did. He gave me 200. He pulled out $200. He goes, "How much do I owe you?" And I'm like, "Dude, don't worry about it, man. Give me whatever you want. Give me a tip. I'll accept the tip, but I'm not going to charge you for it." You know what I mean? And he goes, "Dude, are you serious?" I'm like, "I'm dead serious, man. This is what we do. Like, I got the weld. This is what we love to do." And he goes, "Here's $200." I'm like, "Dang, dude, $200." I wasn't expecting that. I gave my dad the 200. I'm like, "Here, Dad, here's the $200." Because obviously, like I said, there ain't nothing like Daddy's toolbox. The welder didn't just appear there. Gas isn't cheap, all that stuff. Argon ain't cheap, all that. So I'm like, "Here, Dad, here's your $200." He goes, "Here, give me 100, and you and Omar split the other 100." And I'm like, "All right, cool." You know what I mean? So we're putting money into my dad's pot. We're making money. He still pays. He takes care so much care of us. I mean, you know what I mean? I could be sitting there stressed out about something or like something not going my way, and he'd be like, "Dude, just go for a ride really quick. Dude, just get out of here. Go for a ride." So it's just awesome. I mean, the community, the people, just everybody, it just really depends on, what you want to absorb and what you want to take in and you know what I mean? It's all up to you. It's all up to you. Nobody can make you change. You got to want that change. So it's hard. It's a tough battle, but
Yeah.
and one thing for sure is your family's always there, and it's your family can only take so much. It's just like anybody, your people can only take so much until they're like, "You know what? There's no change in this person. There's nothing we can do. We've tried everything." And trust me, your family will go to the depth. They'll do anything to try to help you change, but they also know. So like if they see that they can't help you, that they can't do nothing about it, you know what I mean? There's only so much that your family can do. It's basically you giving up on yourself before anything, like, because your family didn't give up on you. It wasn't your family that gave up on you. It's the sad truth, but it's the truth, and it hurts.
I really think that you've really come a long way. I mean, just hearing you speak on all these different matters, like I am just truly impressed with how far you've come. Likewise, I mean, we all go through our own journeys, and every story might look different, but the takeaway in how we experience these different experiences through life, the takeaway is what really matters, and how we change and how we adapt and how we self improve really demonstrates our journey of how life can really go. I mean, oh no, I'm
Go
just
ahead.
honestly so glad that you reached out to me from the get-go and that you were able to come on this podcast and share your experiences.
Well, honestly, it was the fact that you're a girl welding that freaking blew me away, and that I know you. That I was like, hold on, Brooklyn welding. I seen something about like welding or something like that, but I didn't see you actually doing work. And then I found your business account, and I was like, wait a second. Hold on, dude. I seen that you went to school and you're doing all this and doing all that. And I'm like, holy dude, she's legit. I'm like, she's not playing around. Holy shit. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what blew my mind. You don't see too many girls in the welding industry. Like, you
Not
don't.
where we came from. They don't have like, I don't know what schools they have out there for that.
There's a couple of classes, because I know my brother Moses, my little brother Moses, he really loves welding. He wants to get into it. He's in high school right now. He just actually
Okay.
got a scholarship. He just actually got a scholarship, and I'm pretty sure he wants to continue, he wants to do his welding school and all that stuff. But as far as girls doing welding, I mean, it's something you don't see all the time.
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm in the industry more, I'm able to connect with a lot of females. They are popping up here and there, and I'm really excited because it's really nice to have a group of girls just support each other. But yeah, I know all the way back from when we knew each other from middle school to high school. I mean, even till now, like it's crazy, you think you know someone and then you get to really know them. It's wild how far we've came from just being kids.
Yeah, yeah, from literally playing with freaking, playing with toys and stuff like that to now freaking, playing with real toys, big boy toys, dirt bikes, I mean, popping wheelies up and down the street, just to keep yourself, what I mean, happy, and not just to keep yourself happy, because there's more to it. It's fun. We love it. It's not just that. There's. Oh man, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the adrenaline, like you said. It's the adrenaline.
Yep. But yeah, no, I'm a total adrenaline junkie. So anything that gets the hype, that gets my heart beating, like racing out of my chest, that's what I live for. That's what keeps me alive. That's what keeps me going.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! I'm glad. Dude. Thank you very much. I want to tell you too, because seriously, like, not, it just doesn't always happen. And I knew I had a good story, but I didn't think, like, anybody wanted to, find out or see what the hell, like, the background is, let alone, I mean, make a podcast or freaking, go public with it. And that's, I appreciate you very much too, because, like, just talking about it right now, it doesn't, it hypes me up. I'm ready to freaking, go out to the desert tomorrow and freaking, be perform, do exactly what I'm supposed to do. It hypes me up. I appreciate you very much too. Like, I really do.
Mahalo for tuning in to Kanaka of All Trades. Today we had guest speaker Oscar from San Diego Motorsport Rentals share his story, his struggles, and his journey towards working for his family business in Ocotillo Wells. How an unfortunate life circumstance fueled his motivation towards improving his lifestyle by letting go of bad habits. You can find him on Instagram at Oscar Sanchez, OSCANCHEZ 408, or on Facebook for San Diego Motorsport Rentals.